feel like I'm going to look back on it and go, oh yeah, we lost that final. But I think Gate Y and Gate Z are going to go down like Leppin's Lane end. Like it's a miracle nobody died. It's a miracle nobody died. My dad did say to me at one point, I think in the first ticket check where we were like that, he was like, just make sure you don't go down, because if you fall over, you're not getting back up. That's how like rowdy it was. People trying to push to get the ticket check. So that is obviously something that kind of rings true, because obviously that's what happened at Hillsborough. People got trampled on. So there was a bit of that. It was more afterwards. I think in the ground you're going, that was bad, that, you know, and that's when people were happy to mention it. But outside the gate, you didn't know you didn't want to think about it. You didn't want to talk about it because you just didn't know what the police were going to do next. They were just so unpredictable and just needlessly aggressive.
And then I looked down at one gate and they literally just burst through the gates, and there must have been 50 Frenchies, again, not in Real Madrid colours, not in Liverpool colours, definitely not in clothes that we would wear in Liverpool, or from what I saw, clothes from Madrid, although I'm not quite so sure on that. And they just run into the stairs and split out, and you just like, that must have been 50 people then and there got in. I looked down at the other side and there's another one, it's happening on the other side as well. I was like, oh my days, what is going on here, type of thing. We
got quite close to the front, to the extent where like the next time they opened the gate we were probably going to get through, and people were like yelling at the stewards like, come on, talk to us. And then they just tear gassed us. They like, nobody was forcing themselves on the gate at that point. The gate was closed. And they reached through the gate and just, I was like, what? So I didn't know what it was at first. Like I heard the spray and we were like a couple of rows back. So we weren't, it wasn't like us and then the gate. And all I could think, like, caught me bad. Like it gets in your mouth first and then it spreads to your eyes. And my dad was struggling as well. And all I could think of was, thank God we weren't in the direct line of fire of that, because that would have been absolutely awful. Anyway, the kickoff was delayed obviously twice. We were probably stood pretty close to the gate for the best part of an hour and a half. We'd got to the ground for 6:30 for a 9 o'clock kickoff. We got into the ground at 9:20 for a 9:30 kickoff. It was delayed.
And then next thing we turn around, there's all pepper spray flying towards us. So now at this point, our eyes are streaming. We've got scarves up over our faces and jackets and stuff like that. Eyes are hurting. Like, well, yeah, I have to text, just put a live location on. Yeah, there I am, type of thing. Come and find me. So at this point, we were probably waiting another 15, 20 minutes. We were going to do filming outside the ground. As soon as I saw my mate Paul and his wife Charlie, I was like, let's go. We're not filming outside here. This is not safe at all. So we get through this bottleneck for no reason, where the French police van's been pulled across. Eventually, after about 20 minutes of standing there, get through, get onto the bridge, walk down, and then all of a sudden, the surge of us walking down becomes a surge of people running at us the other way, and we're like, what is going on? Like the space opened up in front of us, and there's lads and girls on the floor in Real Madrid clothes. They've been battered, they're bleeding, propped up against the underside of the bridge, and as we sort of see a gap, Tom, one of the lads who I was with, was like, let's go through there. And as we go through there, Charlie's screaming, stay away from the police, stay away from the police. And I sort of go up and grab him, like, Tom. He's got 3 police officers with guns pointed at him, and he's just stood there trying to walk through a space, and we're like, Tom, you've got guns pointed at you, get out of there, type of thing. And then from then, it was just a case of wherever the police were, we just made a beeline for somewhere else, because we were like, they feel like they're on edge. Like, they've got their riot gears on, they've got their guns, they've got their pepper spray, and they're just looking for any little instance. Turned around and there's women crying, there's ambulance being called for somebody on the side of the street. It looked like they'd been absolutely battered. I've pretty much been going 17 years to the match at Anfield every single week. I've done loads and loads and loads of ways, loads of European ways. I've been some hostile environments. I've done Red Star Belgrade. I've been Roma away. I've been to Champions League semi-finals, quarter-finals, FA Cup, all up and down England. Been to games watching Northern Ireland versus Liechtenstein. In Liechtenstein, I've been games all over the world. America, it doesn't matter. I've never experienced anything like that before. It was just complete ineptitude at the highest order.
How did it feel coming from a UEFA standpoint as well, that UEFA were the ones that position this narrative that it was Liverpool fans without tickets that caused the whole fiasco?
Again, not surprised at all. Corrupt stays corrupt, and UEFA have always been corrupt. So for me, you know, people who are inept at their job always cover it up, whether that's somebody who works in a restaurant who blames a chef blames a KP, or a waitress blames a chef blames a waitress, or whatever. It doesn't matter. People who are absolutely terrible at their jobs and shouldn't be in those positions always blame people. And you know, for us as working class football fans, for the most part, is that what our fan base is? We are the lowest rung, and shit always rolls down hills.
The French First Minister, whatever her name is, she tried to come out and she tried to pin it on the fans. That's not the case. People know now. People can see that it wasn't the fans, and we're lucky, because I do think that, you know, if social media and stuff like that didn't exist, they would have run with that narrative and people would have believed them again, and we would have been at another, even though nobody died, we would have been at another Hillsborough where Liverpool's reputation would have been back in the toilet. It's just it's you know, it's not brilliant, because people still bring up Hillsborough and Heysel, even though people were convicted for Heysel and it's been proven that nobody did anything wrong at Hillsborough, people still bring it up. So, but we're just about climbing to a point where people, you know, have a respect for us on an international level, and that would have put it back in the toilet. So thank God that there's videos saying, you know, it wasn't really our fault.
Why do you think rival fans, in particular English fans who know the plights of other fans going to European away games, why do you think some fans have been so reluctant to even acknowledge that it might not have been Liverpool fans' fault? And I don't want to say take joy out of what happened, but it did seem that way.
They hate Liverpool more than they care about finding out what's gone on. That's what it is. They I honestly believe, whether or not it's just a football thing, or whether or not it's more the wider, you know, bullshit reputation of Scousers and the city of Liverpool, I don't know. But they dislike Liverpool Football Club or Liverpool as a city more than they care about finding out what's going on. That is the bottom line of it. Here's a question: what a nightmare it would have been on Saturday if Man City had gone through, because it would have been English side. Not only would it have been English sides on both sides of the ground that would have actually been policed, they would have been treated the same. But let's be honest, there would have been fights. Like, fans would have clashed. Mancunians, Scousers, both on the piss all day. There would have been problems. How much worse that would have been. In the nice way possible, you got lucky. City will make other finals. You didn't want to be at this one.